think of the seeding and the challenge of trying to make that Sweet 16, given who you're facing and where you're at and all that?
No, Brian, we're excited. I mean, to show up in that bracket again, and I never want to take these days for granted. Our senior class, all they've known is the NCAA tournament. Quite frankly, they're spoiled. They have no idea maybe how some other programs live, but certainly a great challenge in Iowa State. I compared them to a Villanova, a Pittsburgh, or a Marquette. It's a Big East game against a really good team. They shoot the three-point shot so much, I've made a little bit of a comparison. I'm thinking in my mind, when we played Villanova here, they were coming off the 2 wins against Louisville and Syracuse, and they were shooting the heck out of the ball, and we really had to defend the arc, and we did, and won a game. And I think you were going to have to be really ready to guard the three-point line against an explosive offensive team.
I mean, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, but they're explosive. You're playing in Dayton, where Ohio State is. I mean, how much of a challenge is it going to kind of be to make your way to Los Angeles here?
Well, I don't even want to talk about – I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Our program needs to win a first-round game, and I told our guys, I know Ohio State, and, we can't think that far ahead, Brian. We're trying to – we haven't won a first – last year this group did not win a first-round game. We want to win a first-round game, and then we'll – reconvene and try and figure it out.
What goes into being good at defending the arc and defending a team that can really score it like them?
I think a team awareness. We've been pretty good at that as a group. We're able to digest a scouting report and, for the most part, make teams more two-point shooting teams, chase people off the arc. Overall, we've been pretty good when we've had to take away the arc. And I think that Nova game would be kind of a reference point for us, and I'll use that with our team, starting tomorrow.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Wes?
Yeah, hey, Mike. You talked this year about Pat adding to his overall game, and obviously he's coming off a heater in New York. If the three-point shot isn't falling for him like it has in the last 3 games, early on in this NCAA tournament game, what do you want from him?
Well, he's got to always defend and rebound for us. He can run the floor. He can still drive and have an impact on it that way. But, if he's got open looks, we need him to take them. Obviously, that was a weapon that really helped us. And I feel he's moving forward as a shooter in the best frame of mind that he's been in after what happened in New York.
With Sherm and Knight kind of picking up the slack, Cooley didn't, have probably what he wanted in New York happen. But those 2 alternating big nights, I mean, what did they give you and their confidence level right now?
Well, I think both of them are really confident. And, I think we have Sherm back in a great frame of mind. Tom's been pretty darn solid the whole year and kind of an unsung hero, really, of this team with Scott Martin going down and we throw him in the lineup. I'm so proud of how he's delivered for us. And, there's some nights where Zach August is a guy that's flying around in there. But it's nice to have all 4 of those guys, and we're going to need all 4 on Friday night and beyond if we keep going.
Did sickness, did the flu kind of make its way around the team, or was it just you and Jack kind of affected by that?
Yeah, just me. I mean, it was just me for the most part. I just got hit bad timing, and I sound a lot worse than I feel. It was just, congestion, but I'm feeling better. I do like the fact that we don't play till Friday because I think we're, sickness or not, I think we're all still recovering from 3 late night shows in New York with a lot of intensity and energy invested. So we could use a day or 2 to kind of just get our legs under us before we crank it back up again.
Thanks, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
David?
Mike, congratulations. Just generally speaking, and I guess in regard to your team, with so much going on this week, now in your experience, what's the key for a coach keeping a team within its personality so that when they take the court, they are who they are at the most important time of the year?
Yeah, I think you've got to remind them, what has got us to this point, and I think we need to spend some time, David, over the next 2 days watching some film of us in New York. Because I thought we maybe found a little different or another gear on the offensive end of the floor, and I thought our body language and confidence was better, was at an all-time high. And I'd like to kind of see if we could, jump off the back of that a little bit through this week and take it to Dayton.
David, do you have any other questions?
No, thanks, Mike. Good luck.
Thanks, Dave.
Tim?
Yeah, Mike, you ended the last 4 years kind of at the same time, but as you mentioned, kind of playing differently. You got a team that had a lot of confidence, whereas last year maybe didn't end as strong in the semifinals, but you played well last year against Xavier. Do you kind of take anything? Did you learn anything from kind of these last 3 years of having like a week to prepare and just kind of pluses and minuses of how to approach it?
Well, one thing you don't want to do is overcoach right now, or overpractice. You want guys fresh, and you want to be injury free, and frame of mind's really good. And you're right. And one thing about last year in the first round, we were playing pretty darn well. We just couldn't finish that thing. And I know our backcourt would like to have another shot at that. I thought they know they played young last year in the first round. They're a lot older now and experienced, and I expect them to play more like the mature, older guards that they are now.
And just very quickly back to Sherman, you obviously see him on a daily basis. That was the most engaged I think most of us watching him have ever seen him, especially there against Marquette. He was just an emotional leader. What kind of changed? Did anything change, or just is playing better the key for him?
Yeah, I think, he's just playing better. And, I think he knows I feel really good about him. He's worked his way back. And I think probably the biggest key is his teammates have told them continually how much we need him, specifically Jaron and Eric. They're really close. And I think Jaron and Eric have really worked on him to make him feel really a big part of things for us.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Anybody else on the line for follow-up questions?
Mike, you go 13-5 last year and get a 7 seed. What does it say about this team where you go 11-7? You're still the 7 seed.
Yeah, it's I don't. It's funny. I try to tell our guys. I said, don't look at all the projections of being a 5 or a 6 and think, we didn't get what we were supposed to get. Don't ever look at those projections. We're honored to be in. A 7 is a pretty strong seed. And I think I reminded him that, and I said this earlier, that you need to erase numbers next to names now and understand we're playing Big East games again, big time competition, especially with Iowa State. But, I'm thrilled that we're back in it. It was funny when it flashed up, that was kind of, there wasn't any, and it's amazing. It's become routine, I guess, a little bit. And, I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I know when Inglesby and those guys saw their name, they jumped through the window almost. And so it was a very business-like, okay, yeah, Sam, we're going to Dayton Friday night. Yeah. It was kind of matter of fact, and it's kind of been neat to see that. But I know we're thrilled to be part of it. I thought as we went to New York, our guys kind of felt like, boy, it's time to be maybe more focused than we ever have been. And they were. And I hope we kind of feel the same way as we prepare this week. Boy, it's time to kick it up again. And, I hope we can do the same as we head to Dayton as we did in New York.
Is it that focus going into this week that gives you confidence? This team's not going to be worried. Oh my God, we've got to win. We've got to get the opener. We've got to get it. It'll never be that way for me. I want us to attack and go for it. And if you're playing looking over your shoulder, you're dead in the water. And that they've been through enough now, this nucleus, where I just think I expect them to come out like they did against Rutgers, or and just have a real feel about it, and excited to play, and we're going for it.
After ending the season with Louisville and Marquette the way you did, how important was it to come back and play against Marquette as well as you did in the tournament?
Yeah, I think it was very important. Now, there's no question. I think we needed a big win in the postseason to kind of get us feeling good about this tournament. There's no question about it. And really proud of our group, how tough. We did a little bit of everything that night. And you know what? We battled Louisville, pretty darn good too. But I thought we needed a big win under our belt to kind of feel, okay, maybe this March thing is for us.
Second half against Cincinnati, when you pulled the guards and, hey, you kind of got to take charge here. And you're going in that direction now, you're kind of a little bit more flexible than you were. Pretty good timing considering you're playing a team that's, I think, averaging 80 points a game.
Yeah, we're going to have to score some, because we're just not going to shut them down. And, You know, I like that our guards have shown they can really get into a gear and go. And as I've said, you know, when our guards are in gear and a great frame of mind, we can play with anybody. You know, we need them to be good. They weren't good enough long enough Friday night, and that's why we couldn't get out of there. They're going to have to be really good for us to advance from Friday.
Before you've had a chance to look into Iowa State, any previous knowledge of Fred Hoiberg and his program and what they do?
Just know him from being on the road with him a little bit. I know he's done a heck of a job back in his hometown. They have really milked the transfer thing. You know, we do the same. We don't do it to that degree, but they have found a real niche with transfers coming there. They're older. They get them a second chance, and they've continually been older. So I can relate to a little bit of what he's doing philosophically, and they love to score the ball. I think he's a heck of a coach, especially on the offensive end of the floor. Guys play with a free mind and shoot it with a free mind. So, you know, our transition defense and guarding the arc are key.
I know you like shooting a three-pointer, but seems like they take it to pretty much.
They take it to I would say they take it to a level of the John Beeline West Virginia teams. And so, you know, there's some familiarity there. You know, like I said, when Nova came to us, they were a three-point shooting team, and they were feeling good about it. And we really prepared well, and we were good on the arc. Guards, big guys helping out, all stuff, you know, not stuff we haven't seen before, but we're really going to have to be aware.
Mike, some fans are like, well, they should have gotten a 6 seed. I know you said you don't really care about that. Are you happy, though, 7 seed or not, that you're in Dayton?
Yeah.
Close to South Bend?
I do like that. I like it's a bus ride. You know, we'll get over there Wednesday afternoon. We get back in class here for 3 days, and I like the fact that it's a bus ride. I like the fact that it's a ride that, you know, for our fans too, that we could get some support over there. It's not too far. I was hoping for a bus ride, quite frankly, because we've been in New York for 6 nights. We went up there Sunday, so I'm still kind of getting out of the New York fog.
Coach, could you know, it's a little cliche, but could you just talk about how the tournament provides every team that gets in a clean slate going into this?
I mean, you know, there's 68 teams that are dreaming big dreams right now. And that's what's awesome about this tournament. You know, our guys are dreaming the ultimate thing. But you're right, you do kind of get a do-over. You get a clean slate. For some guys that aren't playing as well, you want to talk to them about, hey, it's a new season. I'm going to talk to Cameron about that. You know, we could use more out of him. He struggled, but we're going to need him if we're going to advance.
Thought cross your mind 5 minutes, 10 minutes after selection. So what happened the last time you were in the West region, or how far you were able to advance?
Yeah, we got to Anaheim. I thought of that. When I saw us in the West, I was telling Sherm, because he was sitting down in front of me, and I said, well, when we were in the West, you know, it was L.A. It's L.A. this year. It was Anaheim. And, you know, we got through Indianapolis pretty darn good and got ourselves out West. So that has crossed my mind. Is that karma? I don't know.
You will bust, though?
We'll bus. Yeah. And it's you're back in your town. I should get some suggestions, you know, restaurants and stuff, your old town.
You always talk about Jack and how he's progressed so much from freshman year to now. What has he done this year specifically that has helped him get that first team, and what do you see in him going into this last
Well,
season?
I think he's, you know, to earn the first team, he's been that relentless rebounder and just playing with a passion. That, you know, struggled a little bit in New York, but man, did he have it the last 7 minutes against Marquette, you know, with some of the plays he made. It kind of made us believe. When he plays with that passion and gets on the backboard for us like that, I think the rest of us get pretty confident, and we're going to need that Friday.
Any other questions?
Thank you, gentlemen. See you
right, well,
soon.